I was given no field sobriety test, and my name is Joe West, Common Gap, provisionist. I was given no field sobriety test. Was taken to the hospital, agreed to the blood test, but when started to go to the blood test, the officer says, you worthless piece of dirt, you're not getting one. Take you back to the car.
All right, guys, I think it's a little bit difficult to hear you, sir, but I think no breathalyzer test, taken to the hospital.
Yeah, let me try to sort through that for a second. So here's what I think I understood, that field sobriety tests weren't given. And so there are two types of tests, or probably more than that, but in this particular scenario, two types of tests. Field sobriety test, that's the sort of walk the line test, touch your fingers to your nose, stand on one foot, eye test, those sorts of things. It sounds like in this case, for whatever reason, the caller wasn't given those field sobriety tests. It may be because he refused, which you can refuse field sobriety tests. They are very difficult for people to pass. Perhaps if you're elderly or you've got a back problem or a knee problem, or maybe you're just plain old clumsy, it may not be the best thing to do those tests, because usually an officer, and there are a lot of good officers out there, but usually an officer is looking through those tests with a filter of what is he or what is she doing wrong, not necessarily what they're doing right. And I'm not saying that, yeah.
In that test that they do with the eyes, they have to have a special certification for that to be admissible?
Yeah, the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, or otherwise known as the eye test. You have to have special training in skill and expertise in order to be able to testify about that test in court. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm not sure about the eye test, or I think I did well. In the state of Tennessee, the case on that point is called State v. Murphy, and State v. Murphy more or less says you have to have special knowledge. So I would imagine if you were a optometrist, or perhaps you had some special training at an eye clinic or something, you might be able to testify about that. So a lot of people worry about that test. It's really not even admissible in the first place, which is interesting because it's probably the most reliable out of the three tests. So the most reliable test isn't actually admissible.